Out to a very special interview with the Wycombe captain, Joe Jacobson, who is one of a handful of British Jewish footballers in the professional game. Now, he says anti-Semitism in both football and wider society has increased since the conflict in Gaza escalated in October, and security has been stepped up for his safety.
I'd never had anything on social media before this season, and I mentioned to you earlier, it's my testimonial year and we've got a dinner arranged for a couple of weeks' time, and there's one comment underneath, not even my Twitter, but the Wycombe's Twitter, and it's someone, calling me something, and so straight away the first reaction is that, they're not a Wycombe fan and you can tell by their profile, and so it's, why are you looking to see what Wycombe are doing and then see something about me and then, replying in a certain way. And I think that those things weren't there before. I think since October these things are happening, and look, people have their views on the conflict. I have them. I'm not saying they're the same as everyone else or not, that I can keep them private. But then to voice an opinion like that on social media to someone which you don't know my opinions on it, I think is sad. And I think, people need to realise what they're saying isn't right and it's not acceptable.
Have you felt in personal danger, particularly in the last few months at times?
I had an incident with when I mentioned about having some replies on social media to a tweet that I made, that I actually sat down at the time with the head of communications at the club and the head of media and said, is it okay to write this? And he, we sat down for a bit and I changed it, and he's like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. You're not, disrespecting anyone in any way. Later on, a couple of months later, there was a reaction to that because they thought it was for the present day, which it wasn't. I had a lot of messages on social media. The club got sent some emails and letters demanding I apologise, demanding that if I didn't, they would barricade the gates at Adams Park on a match day. A few days later, I didn't know at the time that I came to the stadium, and for some reason, when the players wanted to come in the car with me from the training ground, I didn't think much of it. During the car journey, the secretary calls him and says, where are you, how close are you? And I thought, that's a bit strange. Anyway, parked my car, 3 or 4 of the staff came around me and were just like, right, Joe, time to walk in. I was like, no, I'm just talking to some fans, or I'm talking to some family members that I knew, and they were like, no, come in. So I got ushered in. I later found out that they were worried that someone was going to be there, so there was some plainclothes security that were kind of watching out and looking for anything, and fortunately there was nothing happened. But I'm just going to a place of work and there's people worried about something that might happen, and that can't be right. But there was fans that would message, or so-called fans that messaged in saying that he shouldn't be playing for this club or be captain of this football club. The club, we spoke, I had dialogue with the owner, with lots of members and staff, and they were like, absolutely, do not apologise. You've done nothing wrong, so don't apologise. It looks, first of all, like you've done something wrong, and what you have said is absolutely fine. So there was no calls from players. The players were worried and didn't want to work with someone who posted the tweet towards me, and were really disappointed with someone who was connected to the club who posted something, and the players were really angry at that. And people learning, it's the same as kick it out. For a number of years they'd come to me if there was an incident and ask me for my opinion, ask me if it's okay to put out a statement and me to proofread it. Well, that shouldn't happen. Why is there no Jewish representatives on these boards or at these levels where they can make these decisions themselves?